Welcome Millhouse family. I'm going to take you through this week's meal. This week we are doing a type of risotto, but we're going to be using farro, so a wheat berry or grain in place of the rice. We'll have some gluten-free substitutes for those who are not doing wheat, but we're going to be doing farro risotto with roasted squash. It's going to have a creamy mascarpone cheese and a little bit of chives or scallions with it. And then we're also going to be doing some pan-roasted Brussels sprouts with apples, bacon, and pomegranates. Let's get started. Okay, to get started for our Brussels sprouts, I've got a nonstick pan over about medium heat that's already been heating up, so it's going to have a little bit of heat in the pan already. It's kind of shimmering, the oil's shimmering in there. We're going to add our Brussels sprouts. Be careful with this step. I'm going to try to turn some of them so they're face down. That'll help them get some nice color on them. So we're trying to get some nice brown on the Brussels sprouts. We're going to let that go for a couple minutes. We'll come back and check on it. Okay, our Brussels have been cooking for a few minutes now. We'll take a look and see how they are. So we're starting to get some coloring on there. You can see that's a great sign. We'll give them a little toss. We're also going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. Right now, we'll give them some toss. So the Brussels sprouts have already been blanched, so they've been cooked in boiling water, so that will cook them through. So really what we're trying to do now is warm them up and get some nice color. That brown will add some nice depth of flavor to the Brussels sprouts. But we don't want to cook them for too long or they become mushy. So we're going to let these go for just, about another minute. Then we'll add our other ingredients and we'll finish them off. Okay, the Brussels have been cooking now for a couple minutes. You can see we're getting some nice color. Give those a little toss. We've got some good heat. We might turn that down just a little bit. At this point, I'm going to add, if you're using the bacon, I'm going to add the bacon now. And then we will also add the apples. They've been cooked with a little bit of vinegar. I'm going to just I'll taste one of the leaves to see if we've got the right amount of salt. You can adjust here. And we just need the apples and bacon to warm up slightly, and then we'll go ahead and get plated. All right, so we have our Brussels sprouts. They're ready to go. We'll grab our serving bowl. And then we have some dry roasted almonds, so they'll add a little crunch and some salt on top. We'll add that. And then some pomegranates as well. Nice, beautiful color. And our roasted Brussels sprouts with bacon, apples, pomegranates, and nuts is ready to go. Okay, to get started for our risotto, we have our cooked farro squash, our mascarpone cheese, some garnish, and then I've gotten water. So for every 2 servings, you're going to want 1 cup of water. So if you're a 2-person serving, just a cup. If you're a 4 or a 6, you may need 2 to 3 cups. And you may not need all of the water, but it's good to have it ready. So I'm going to add the farro to a pan that I have on medium heat. And I'm going to add about 2/3 of the water to start. And we're just going to get that to start simmering. I'm going to add the squash right now as well. We'll bring that up to a simmer and we'll come back and take a look at it. All right, so our risotto has been cooking for a few minutes. We're getting some bubbling, which is great. So what we're trying to balance is we want everything to be nice and warm, and we want it to be nice and creamy as well. So that's why we have maybe a little extra water. We can adjust as needed. I want that to keep bubbling, and we have our mascarpone cheese, which is like a really rich cream cheese. It cooks really well also, so that's a nice one to use when we're cooking. So we're going to, now that we're getting this nice bubbling, we're going to add that mascarpone. We'll stir that in. We're going to give that a minute or two to cook in. We'll see if we need to adjust with any more water. We'll taste it. It will definitely need some salt and pepper. And then we will get ready to serve. All right, so this has been bubbling with the mascarpone in for a little bit. It's starting to actually stick to the bottom, which tells me the liquid is starting to cook out. That's okay, we'll get that stirred. We're gonna add, I'll taste it right now and see how it tastes. We'll see if we need to add some salt and pepper. It needs a little bit. We're getting a nice consistency, nice and creamy. I'm going to add a little bit more of our reserved water. It's going to thicken a little bit as it sits. I'm going to taste it one more time. Just a touch more salt. All right, we're going to call it good. Turn the heat off. We'll go ahead and get it plated up. Okay, we got our risotto ready. Looks lovely. I'm going to go ahead and get it into our bowl. And then we are doing some scallions or chives on top. We'll just put that right on top. They can get mixed in. And then we have our farro risotto with roasted squash, mascarpone cheese, and scallions.